What's good, y'all? You dub back here again here in 2019. Let's get it. Bring y'all episode 5 of my Unfiltered series. Now, for those who don't know and not privy to, maybe this is your first time, my Unfiltered series is raw, unvarnished, uncut. Well, my material is never cut. I don't do that, right? I can bring it to y'all all the way 1,000 and then some. I talk like how I talk on a lot of subjects. A lot of times I'll hold my tongue and people don't know. But sometimes it just need to be said out here. Now this one may be a more tame episode, a tamer episode than some of the previous ones, but we shall see. We shall see. In this series of videos that hopefully can turn into a podcast or something else or lead to something else, who we shall see. I want to delve into discussions and topics that are whether they're commonly talked about or they arise from time to time. They surface, and a lot of people ask my thoughts. They say, "What is your opinions?" And I tell you, I'm dealing in opinions, but they want to know my views on these matters because I have a lot to say in a lot of these subjects. And so we're dealing with conspiracy theories, right? This time around, and it's a hell of a lot more complicated as is with most things, but this one is really really complicated and it's seeped in confusion. All right, common vernacular has often bastardized and vulgarized words. Okay, and why do words matter? Sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can never hurt me. No. You gotta understand what words are actually supposed to be, what language, but specifically words, because language here is nonverbal communication. You use body language and a few other things. Vibes, you can get different frequencies, wavelengths, and energies you can read off of other people, which again is a whole separate discussion. Most of communication actually comes through those manners and methods, right? It's like you can go into a room and you sense something without anyone saying a word to you. Things like that. But that's again a whole separate discussion than what we're talking here. Why verbal words? Because we're at this point, and you can say evolutionary process. You can say the written word as well, which is a whole separate evolutionary tactic as well. But the whole point about words, okay, is that words are supposed to associate. When I say tree, now we may all picture a different type of tree, but you get the general concept. A whale, uh, a man, a woman. You get a general sense. A bird, waves. Okay, there might be a couple different types of waves. Maybe you think of the sea wave, or you think of, electromagnetic waves. Okay, regardless of that, you get a general sense of what I'm talking about because that's the purpose of words. That's the purpose of language. Is association. Okay, it's conveying. It's communicating. Right. And you can really, when you get down into the metaphysical aspects of it, you're conveying concepts, okay? Because really, tree means nothing. The word fuck, it means nothing. Motherfucker means nothing. Shit, bastard, damn, toilet. They all mean nothing unless things are associated with them, okay? I can use the most aggressive words, but in certain contexts, they're friendly and enduring. In other contexts, those are straight fighting words or killing words. You see what I'm saying? So context matters in this. Because of what? Association. Now, why do I lead all this build up to? It's understanding to understand the essence of words. Conspiracy. What does a conspiracy actually mean? Well, it's 3 levels. Right? Before we get into theory, like how I do, is I break things down. Right? I break them down separately, and then we bring them together. A conspiracy, 3 things. 1, you could simply mean having a meeting or discussion in secret to discuss something. That's all it can be. For example, if a restaurant's coming up with a secret sauce, a new recipe, that's technically conspiracy, right? It's not public knowledge. Okay? Second point is, and this is more to get toward the heinous aspect, is you're congregating in a secret group looking for ways to implement your stake in the game of power, in the game of thrones, if you will, the game of thrones. Okay? You're looking to make plays to get yourself in positions of power. And when you do this, is dangerous, and this is why I say it can be the most heinous, because you're willing to have the ends justify the means. Never have that mentality for ends justify the means. That becomes a very dangerous, toxic, destructive method. But a lot of groups do that. You see it with Nazi Germany, very famously. Fascist Italia with Benito Mussolini. Um, I mean, you can think of with Stalin's regime in the USSR. Okay, Vladimir. Um, oh my goodness, Lenin. Goodness, jeez, Lenin's regime. Okay, just you know what happened and derailed with Cuba under Fidel Castro. Even if he started off well, he went off the rails like a crazy train. I love that Ozzy Osbourne. Anyways, the point being, I use those recent examples because you can go throughout history and see it. You see it in business and whatnot. So you have that to where it's a secret meeting or organization that's looking to implement power. Okay, it's looking for them to gain the reins, the control, pull the strings. And I always love to bring up Heavenly Demon, Don Quixote, Do Flamingo, aka Joker from One Piece, because he's the prime example of this. Okay. Now the third one, we have a secret meeting where you're not known in the public. You have conspiracy, and that's where a lot of people get at for political power of any regard, whether in a government or otherwise. Okay, you could just simply do that on an mix economics with politics and things of that nature, social power, and whatnot. It could be as low as an elementary school. You see conspiracy groups all the time to take over the popularity and the control of the school. Plenty of stuff I can get into. I love the show Society on Netflix. If you not watch it, it's a phenomenal show. Phenomenal show. And by the end of season one, they showed this. Oh, it was a pure conspiracy. Peaky Blinders is it deals with so many things. Peaky fucking Blinders, man. Anyways, let me not get too hyped in this video. But you see a number of sometimes the shows like Peaky Blinders doesn't even focus on the political aspects, but it just ties them in. Arrow does this at times. Plenty of shows do it because it's a great kind of thing. With Ricardo, is it Ricardo Martinez? I'm trying to think. Ricardo Diaz. Ricardo Diaz in seasons 5 and 6 specifically. Wait, season no, hold on. No, it's season 6 and season 7. Excuse me. Season 5 was Prometheus. Season 6 and 7, you see a hell of a lot in season 7 when Oliver gets locked up. But anyways, so the third type of conspiracy, what are we dealing with? We're dealing with a group or an organization that forms a secret society. Now, they don't. A secret society can be anything, really, almost anything, as long as it's not a group that is a public entity. And what do I mean by a public entity? Public entity, such as a business, you operate out in the open. A public entity is a government that is open, that we know what's going on, whether it's totalitarian or the most liberal form that you can think of. Uh, Open. A family. Now, we might not know all the inner workings, but we see a family's face. Now, within the family, see what happens with a secret society is there's a group. See, it can't just be the reason I say family, and a family can't be a secret society unless that family is large enough to where they can actually form their own thing. But then you would just kind of consider that just a family cult kind of thing. So I don't think it qualifies. Normally, you need peoples of various backgrounds, even if they come from the same social status. Like, for example, let's say I'll give a classic conspiracy in this case. Even though they weren't a secret society, they fit more into two: John D. Rockefeller, uh, J.P. Morgan, and Andrew Carnegie. Okay, something like that when they came together. Um, Something like the Freemasons. Okay, any MC, any motorcycle club is a secret society. Doesn't mean it's nefarious. It doesn't mean that they're doing ugly things, but they are a secret society. And the reason, and what would I would say the difference between a secret society and, because I can do an entire, and I plan on writing a book about secret societies, but what would actually make a secret society go from just being a secret society, just doing their own things, as opposed to conspiracy? They actually have to be actively looking to do something. Okay, they can't just be, we're just riding bikes, right? We're just getting together and drinking some beer. They actually have to be planning to do something in a community. Now, again, it can be benign as hell, but they actually have to be active. They can't just be a club just hanging out. See what I'm saying? So you have these various. That one's kind of a loosely with it, but I had to include it in case anybody wanted to have that conversation. Excuse me. Now, the theory part. A lot of people commonly use a theory as any, pretty much any thought, any hypothesis. That is not a theory. And even hypothesis is loosely. Any idea that, ooh, this can connect with it. No, that is not theory. I don't give a damn if that's a common vernacular. Any loose fitting string of ideas doesn't make a theory. All right? Now, there's two forms of theory. There is scientific theory, and there is what I like to call informal theory. Or I show in this video for simplification purposes. Now, scientific theory. Got to understand the scientific method. You have first the hypothesis, which is an educated guess. Secondly, first before that, you actually have observation, observation via the five physical senses: sight, touch, smell, hearing, and taste. All right, any or all of those. Normally you don't need all five, but you have that. Then you have bring forth the hypothesis. For example, uh, in the past, why can birds fly and humans don't? You observe that humans don't fly generally, and birds fly. So you put forth, someone might put forth a hypothesis that it's the bird's anatomy that we have fundamental. Now that's pretty broad, but you don't need the deepest things. So now you do the experimentation. Well, we find out, or you do the analysis, the dissections. Birds have hollow bones. They have feathers. They have uh, a different muscular density, and a number of things that allow for them to be able to fly. They're not as large as humans in general. Things of that nature. Okay. Now you get to the theories phase. Now, theory is once you've done enough experimentation. This is how it's supposed to be. Not all. Most of these hypotheses out here, these theories out here are actually hypotheses. Don't let the modern scientists let you get lost in the sauce. All right. The quote unquote theory of evolution at best is a hypothesis. At best. Okay. Intelligent design, creationism, they're all hypotheses. They are not theories. Let that be understood. The theory of gravity is a theory for a reason. This well, now I'll get into scientific law because the laws of thermodynamics. So a theory is something that has a boatload of evidence, a lot of experimentation, and that's the best we got. Now, a scientific law is when something has been showcased enough to where we see no definitive examples. It doesn't mean there are none, but we see no definitive examples that go against this. The laws of thermodynamics, the first two laws, um, matter or energy in this case. Energy is neither created nor destroyed. It's the law of conservation. Second law of thermodynamics, in brief, is all things go to entropy, which means uselessness. All energy goes to entropy. Okay. We've seen zero examples that override those, so they are laws. Theories don't quite meet that criteria. We don't exactly know what gravity is, but we've seen enough evidence that we can say, okay, we have a theory of gravity. We have an idea of what gravity actually is. So there is that. I believe magnetism falls under that theory category as well. Now, where's the informal? The informal version, it doesn't have as many steps and layers, but it does have legitimate things. I do theory videos on this channel, usually for One Piece. And for those, what I consider theories, some of these out here, Joy Boy, he does a pretty good job. My dude Sean Holmes, he does a pretty good job. Pharaoh Space, There's been other things. Manga me's thrown a few. There's a number of people. Tekken 101 does. King of Lightning does some theories. Theories are in the informal sense when you have a good amount of evidence and information that you've been presented, and you draw a logical conclusion to that. Now, your theories, they're not as informal theories aren't as based in, if you will, the reality of the situation because we don't have evidence. It's more of we're utilizing all the clues, the breadcrumbs, and the little pieces here and there, the puzzle pieces. We're scavenger hunting and we're putting together a comprehensive idea and predicting what may be. There is nothing wrong with those theories. Okay, I think they're very applicable. It's the ability, for example, economic forecasting. That's what they do. Legal proceedings based off of precedents and things of that nature. It's important ability to do. Don't get too hung up on it. Don't get mad when your theories. And that's the issue I have with certain fandoms. For example, you have a Star Wars fandom. I know the Naruto fandom dealt with this. A number of fandoms get too hung up on their theories, and when things don't happen, they get pissed off. The Dragon Ball fandom, some of the people got in the lunacy. Remember, their theories, they're not exactly proven. Even scientific theories aren't fully proven. We just have enough evidence to make the claim. It doesn't mean that's what's going to happen. Remember that with theories. Now, let's combine the two. Okay? Conspiracy. Whether you go with the meeting in private, the quest for political power, or the strive of an organization or group to do something, right? And the organization has to be a mixed bag. It can't just be like a singular family, as I mentioned previously. And the theory is that there's pieces of evidence of activity, and there's enough. We can't experiment, but we can use the informal theory to where there's enough pieces to where we can make logical deductions. Okay. Now, an actual conspiracy theory. I'll show non-conspiracy theories. I'll give examples of both, at least 5, and then wrap it up with a few things. 1, JFK's assassination was planned. Now, I personally say, and I can go through various assassinations, but I personally say that take your pick. You have from the CIA to Castro's regime in Cuba, the Soviets in the USSR, Khrushchev at the time. I believe it was still Nikita Khrushchev. And what did I say? Oh, the mob. And if again, another time when talking about the Kennedys. But yeah, the mob because of brother Robert Kennedy, Bobby Kennedy. Okay, so you take your pick, and then you had you. There's a number of stuff I can get into with the Kennedy assassination. It's a legitimate conspiracy theory, and we have actual proof about stuff. Okay, when it comes to a non-conspiracy theories, flat earthers, take whichever form of flat earth you want to do. Flat earth is so easily scientifically debunked that it's pathetic that people actually believe it. I'm not hating on you. That's just the reality. You need to get your head out the sand. All right? Nobody's hiding anything. NASA's not hiding anything. Fucking go out to sea. You will know that it doesn't work. I may address flat earth at another point, but just know it's lunacy. Second, let's see, a second conspiracy. Oh, I'll stick with the assassinations that Lincoln got set up. President Lincoln's assassination got set up. Okay? It makes no damn sense that John Wilkes Booth was able to get up in there. Where was the Secret Service? Where was any protection? And there's a number of factors you can get into. And if you know the timing and what was going on, definitely makes sense that there was a conspiracy going on. Let's see. Oh, a fake conspiracy. Area 51. Now, here's the thing, bro. I'm not saying activities don't go on at Area 51, but what I will say is they're military activities. Yeah, that's all it was. It was military activities. UFOs. That's another fake ass conspiracy. UFOs are unidentified flying objects. Pretty much experimental tech, by and large, or private tech. That's all they are. That was all they are, bro. Stealth bombers would have been UFOs for a time. Okay, that's it. Like stop trying to make things out to be more than they are, and getting lost in stuff, and not paying attention to what's going on. Uh Conspiracy. Here's a legitimate one. 9/11. Inside job and a half is a legitimate conspiracy. And again, that I could easily go in depth about. Another legitimate conspiracy, the housing market crash of '08, which was leading up from '05 to '07. I've been known to say plenty of years. I was a kid at the time, right? And I'm sitting here going, bro, even I understood that, wait a minute here. You had, where I was from, is you had houses that were worth $250,000 getting shot up double their value, or would triple their value from 500 to $750,000. You had houses that should have been going for $500,000, going for a mil plus, and you're just sitting here like, bro, this can't last. This cannot last. And sure enough, it didn't. And apparently, guys like Dr. Ron Paul and others talked about what was going on. That was a legitimate conspiracy. Um, Last one, the bailouts of GMSS. I don't know. Let me see if I can come up with another one off the top of my head. Oh, another conspiracy, and again with the assassinations. Pac's assassination, pure conspiracy. Where was the investigation? You can go Kurt Cobain. Any assassination you can go was conspiracy, bro. Kurt Cobain. Where was the investigation, fam? Where? Stuff didn't make any damn sense. For Pac, I think Suge Knight was involved. I think P Diddy and such know what's going on, but some say it was the LAPD and such. Like that, you take your pick. Cobain was a threat. Him and Pac were threats, but again, another conversation for another time. Let's see, fake conspiracies, out here. Shoot, something. Trying to think one off the top of my head that I often hear. Well, see, I'm not huge. Fake conspiracies about the Catholic. The Bible. The Bible. Yes, the Council of Nicaea. Fake news. If you didn't know anything about history, you know that these conspiracies against the Council of Nicaea is lunacy. Okay. Council of Nicaea, in brief, it was made so that actual doctrinal, actual canonical text could be made, because there was stuff that came after the time of the apostles and whole other things. If you see the trend of where I'm going with, and I used the multiple ones of assassinations because they were off the top of my head. Um, I mentioned earlier about, and I mentioned on, I think, the last video, I talked about J.P. Morgan, John D. Rockefeller, and Andrew Carnegie pretty much buying the presidency, okay, when it comes to William McKinley, or they heavily influenced with their economic growth. That is a legitimate conspiracy, a very legitimate conspiracy. If you'll notice the difference, there is actual down to earth, grounded stuff that's going on, given historical context, given where we can trace things. With these people, with their false conspiracies, are things that are just outlandish, bro. Things that are not based in historical accuracy, things that are unprovable. Okay? Unprovable. I'm basing things on proof, things that are actually, whether they're nefarious or not, things that actually move the needle. These false conspiracies, what if the earth was flat? How is that changing anything? Ooh, the Bible, the Council of Nicaea manufactured the Bible. Changes nothing. Changes nothing. It doesn't. And someone can say, well, what do you mean, Wonder? A lot of people don't believe it anyways. A lot of people don't believe in scripture anyways. Some people, what people's beliefs are their beliefs. They're going to believe it whether you convince them or not. It's just what it is. This is what it is. JFK moved the needle. Pac, Bobby Kennedy being assassinated, Abraham Lincoln. They literally changed society. Okay? When you have a conspiracy, Conspiracy. What led to the Revolutionary War? It was conspiracy because of the foolishness that was going on with Great Britain and the Crown, the Parliament at the time was a conspiracy. If the pirates tried to rise up, conspiracy to come. So when he gathered the tribes together, that's a conspiracy. Things that actually affect things. Okay, I mentioned about the show Society, and I won't spoil it. But there's a group that looks to overthrow the current, um, if you will, regime of how things are done. Um, Whether they're right or wrong, that's just what happens. Uh, I mentioned a school. I'll give an example, and I'll close out this segment this time. Imagine a school. There's a group of kids, okay, and I'll if you want me to go elementary, middle, or high school, take your pick, right? There's a group of kids. Let's say one's a jock. So let's go high school to make this simpler, because elementary it's a lot harder to implement this, and usually kids don't have the necessary cognitive function for this kind of ability. Hell, you can even go into college, but that again gets very complicated. So I'll just go to high school. So high school, and let's go a smaller school. Okay, you have a jock, you have the intelligent dude, the brainy dude, whether nerd or not, just could be a student athlete, popular girl, cheerleader, or otherwise, um, you know, someone who's well liked by the teachers, and pretty much, whether it be student council or anything. And let's see, a five, kind of a Breakfast Club kind of situation. Second favorite movie of all time, by the way. Or yeah, my second favorite movie of all time. Watch it if you've never seen that 80s classic. It's just true greatness, legendary film. And let's see, you have the jock, you have the intelligent dude, the popular girl, you have, student, let's say student senior class president, let's say it's a chick. And the last one is the ladies' man. Let's go that route. The comedian, whatever the case may be. So you have some of the most prominent members. Let's say the jock is, whether it be the football team captain, basketball team captain, baseball team captain, lacrosse captain, whoever the big dog, of that specific school. It could be a lot of things, right? So you have that. They come together and they're like, listen. Now they don't all have to be seniors. They're like, listen, like let's say the student class president, she meets with the popular girl and wants the girls to stop. Let's say they're being unruly for whatever reasons, or they're not listening to the teachers. Okay, okay. Now let's say the popular girl is dating the football, basketball, whatever, the captain, El Capitan, right? And she's like, babe, honey, we have this situation. He's like, all right. And he thinks, he's like, we're also having a problem with the boys in the school. If you, then he talks with the student class president, senior class president. If you get in good and promise you help my boys out and they'll pass for me to play, I'll help set up something. Then what do we have here? We have him talking to his homie, who's the intelligent guy, because believe it or not, the jock and the smart dude probably been best friends for whatever reason, for since they were kids. Let's go that route. Or they met when they were freshmen or something. And so, boom, you have that connection. And of course, he wants to help Big Homie out. And, Big Homie knows, of course, who the dude who's like the kind of political ladies man, or you can go the political dude, ladies man. He whether it's social, like he is well liked by the people. Okay, well liked by the people, and so they all come together, have some meetings, have discussions, and boom, you have a conspiracy. Okay, you have a conspiracy right there. Again, it can be benign or it can be very malign. And believe it or not, this stuff kind of goes on all the time. It's been going on all the time. stuff going on behind the scenes of schools and other entities. Goes on all the time. It goes on in governments. If you don't think it goes on, why do you think strikes happen? Why do you think unions, the real unions, not the fake shit we have today, but why do you think this stuff rose? Because people wanted their self interest met, whether they were tired of oppression or they didn't think they were getting a fair shake or they wanted to control the levers of power. Whatever the case may be, Manan or Milan, doesn't matter. But that's the nature of conspiracies. Now, let's say a school journalist came along and says, and maybe there was pictures taken, maybe not. But, or a scoop was given, yo, you might want to check into this. The captain of the football team, lacrosse team, baseball team, whatever the case may be, basketball team, he's dating the, popular cheerleader chick. The reporter's like, okay, whatever, that's no news. That's known. Well, get this. They've been talking with the student class president. Again, what's the news? They've also been talking, his homie, who's the star, you know, big wig head of chess club, da da da. They've been talking. Okay, again, they're all friends. But they're also talking with Sam, Sam is that ladies' man, popular dude. Okay, now you have my intrigue. What do you have? I think something's going on. Any evidence? I mean, that's what I come to you for. I'm just giving you the scoop, man. Like, this is the intel I have. I've just been paying attention. I'll keep you anonymous, but, how do you know this? I'm always around. I'm in the background, okay? I keep a low profile. No one notices me, but I observe everything that goes on in the school. The reporter starts to dig and starts to investigate and starts to see certain stuff, starts asking questions around. Do you see how this works in societies? And I use the school because it's closed and isolated, but this kind of stuff is what really goes on out here. These are conspiracy theories. Okay? Think of Rorschach with the Watchmen. Right? If you're in DC Comics, there's the Superman conspiracy. Bogus. So that's an example of DC showcasing a bogus conspiracy. Okay. Unexpected one, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts. I didn't know how long this would be, but I hope y'all enjoyed. And the next segment, the next episode is going to deal with fake power versus real power. Stay tuned for that one because that one's going to be very hard hitting. It was based on the discussion I had with a gentleman a week or so ago. All right, y'all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night. Peace.